Watch the Mysteries of Existence channel for divine enlightenment. To know more about yourself, the physical and subtle aspects of the universe, and the source of all that is.
This is a message brought to you by the Harbinger of the Last Covenant, His Grace, Iyke Nathan Uzorma, author, Archbishop, University Chancellor, scholar in extraterrestrial research, professor of Christian education at St. Thomas-A-Backet University, England, recipient of Nelson Mandela Excellent Leadership Award in Africa. Former living Grand Master in the Order of Terrestrial and Astral Hierarchy, amongst others.
Dear listeners, this exposition is on Planetary Winnowing, Ancient Beasts in Our Contemporary World, Part 14. It is a special feature in this Mysteries of Existence channel. This is the most needed advanced divine information for the entire people of this world. Therefore, as you pay utmost attention to this crucial end-time message, please endeavor to kindly share it with others. I read this treatise of the Harbinger of the Last Covenant, His Grace, Iyke Nathan Uzorma, as follows. In the journey of life, battles have occurred, battles are occurring, and battles will occur. In the last episode, I spoke about the ambush against Angel Gabriel, his capture by the Prince of Persia, his captivity in the domains of the kings of Persia, and his final release by Archangel Michael. Things like this do occur, for a person and group of persons. If Angel Gabriel didn't mention such a thing, the Earthman may not believe its possibility. I have also said that most of the ambush laid by the forces of darkness against the forces of light, especially within the ethereal axis of the Earth world, are mainly conducted within the subtle aspects of the Earth's ionosphere. I will later come to certain current happenings at the point of the Earth's ionosphere in this episode. In this connection, I will focus mainly on the battles fought therein, as well as the victory of light over darkness. Within this also lies portions of the proclaimed shakings of the powers of heaven in our time. However, for now, I want to make some clarifications on the issues of the ambushment of the forces of darkness. One of my ardent followers desired that more points should be made along this line. Possibly, some of you here may be on the same page with him. Now, scholars of the Christian Holy Scriptures are expected to know certain things in this regard. Haven't you read about the 4 holy angels of light, who were captured and chained on earth in the great river Euphrates? They weren't chained there for the human physical eyes to see. Not at all, for there are more than the eyes can see. Therefore, the 4 extraterrestrial intelligences or angelic beings of light were held bound in the subtle spheres of the aforementioned river Euphrates. The Euphrates River began in Turkey, from the joining point of the Karasu and Murat rivers. It flows through Turkey, Syria, and Iraq. The Bible Book of Revelation, chapter 9 verses 13 to 15, mentioned the incident thus. And the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar which is before God, saying to the 6th angel which had the trumpet, Loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, and a day, and a month, and a year, for to slay the 3rd part of men. These 4 angelic beings of light, great ones in the power of light amongst the armies of heaven, descended into the earth world for a particular assignment. Their divinely assigned mission was very specific, namely, to slay the third part of men. The sons and daughters of men had grown fat in wickedness and abominable things. Most of them are direct marionettes of the beasts of darkness. They serve only the interests of darkness. They enabled the forces of darkness to have their roots in the world of man. Without these children of men, the manipulations, crafts, and devices of the forces of darkness won't thrive at all on the physical realm of earth. From the reference point of the high command of the forces of light, slaying the third part of these marionettes will drastically reduce the basis for the ubiquitous operations of darkness on earth. The hosts of darkness themselves were well aware of this. They knew that if this is accomplished, their influence over humans would suffer a major setback. Consequently, a strong unit of the forces of darkness, upon the decision of the hierarchy of darkness, were dispatched to ambush the aforementioned 4 angels. The ambush was enacted. It was successful in their terms. Thus, the 4 angels were captured and held bound on earth, in the subtle spheres of the great river Euphrates. The period of their captivity in Euphrates wasn't mentioned, but certainly, they were there before the 6th angel sounded his trumpet. Things like this do occasionally occur in the battles between the forces of light and the forces of darkness. This also happens amongst humans, especially when a chosen one is weak in divine terms. By your weakness, the forces of darkness can hold you bound in diverse ways. Therefore, rise in the strength of the Spirit of light in the Almighty God of creation so as to be disentangled from all the entanglements of darkness. This is not about judging by which religion or church denomination one belongs. It is equally not about proclaiming that one is saved or otherwise. It is about you taking a strong stand upon the path of light by living in the supreme consciousness of divine love. Waking up early in the morning to begin your day, with intense prayers and songs of praise to the God of gods, is very important in this connection. Whoever fails here may fail in some aspects of the ongoing battles. Tremendous energy of divine light from above is radiated to the earth world every morning. This occurs especially between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. daily. The masterminds of the ages are fully aware of this. Thus, if you allow the dark astral sleep waves to dominate you during this period, greater divine strength in light will elude you. Now, the 4 angels that were held bound in Euphrates were finally set free by just a single angel. What do you understand here? This is evidence of greater divine empowerment. Ordinarily, the forces that held the 4 angels bound can only be subdued by a combination of several angels. But this is not the case. Rather, one angel was empowered to set them free. The one advanced extraterrestrial intelligence or angelic being of light involved here is the 6th angel amongst the 7 angels, which sounded their trumpets, respectively. This angelic being wouldn't have performed this task on his own, without a greater divine empowerment arising from beyond himself. Thus, he was truly empowered. This empowerment came from the 4 horns of the golden altar. Yes, the 4 horns, the 4 immortal lords of creation in the primordial domains of the initial life controllers. These were the manifestations of the Almighty God of creation in a moment, within that order of species. The 4 immortal ones didn't speak with voices but with a single voice. They were the ones that said to the 6th angel thus, "Loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates." Their words became the divine empowerment unto the 6th angel. Consequently, the 6th angel, in a moment point of magnification in consciousness, possessed the divine strength of several angels at once. Then, the 4 angels were loosed from captivity, which they passed through as a result of the ambushment of the forces of darkness. As already mentioned, the Earth's ionosphere has been the spot for most of these ambushment. Following this, however, in the course of the ongoing last battles of our time, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords authorized a battle of invasion there. To this end, advanced extraterrestrial intelligences descended from above. These were the forces of light. In our time, this battle was waged. Strong angelic beings from the morning stars of Venus were involved. In this major encounter, the great forces of light totally vanquished the forces of darkness that operated there. As I speak now, advanced extraterrestrial intelligences or angelic beings of light have taken full control of the subtle aspects of the ionosphere. They even went ahead to ring that part of the Earth planet. They did this with well-advanced and sophisticated heavenly elements of divine light. A unit of the forces of light, within the hierarchy of space masters, are currently stationed therein. This is a major victory in the battles of planetary winnowing. Thus, no power of darkness will intrude into that part of the Earth anymore. But before this victory was achieved, the forces of darkness had succeeded in discharging tremendous amounts of the dark energies of gross limitations against humans via the aforementioned ionosphere. This was achieved in conjunction with the beasts of darkness and the marionettes of the vicious astral entities. The discharged energies of the forces of darkness entered into the subtle fabrics of the psyche chromosomes of humanity. It was therein domiciled. This was designed to increase the subjugation of humans, for the rise of man against man. Furthermore, it was equally designed to enact increased multitudinous limitations upon the children of men through intense focus on materialism. Overall, this dark energy was aimed at making it difficult for humans to access the higher regions of light in the Almighty God of creation. Every human must strive to transcend the manipulations of this energy within himself. Though, I do not see any rush of humans towards this path. Now, the foregoing exposition doesn't mean that space combats have stopped between the forces of light and the forces of darkness. Rather, it simply means that the Earth's ionosphere is completely under the control of the forces of light at the moment. As earlier mentioned, that axis was greatly used against the forces of light in the past ages before now. For instance, some of you may have heard of Hiranyasha, spoken about in the sacred writings of the ancient wise men of the East. If we are following the time sequence of the Torah and the Bible chronology, as propounded by both the Jewish and Christian theologians, then the era of Hiranyasha existed before the Adamic man. Hiranyasha fully had dominion over the entire subtle aspects of the Earth's ionosphere. He stamped the foot of darkness upon the face of the deep, which rose to dominate the entire Earth world. And, so, in a manner that may be unbelievable, he was one of the leading primordial progenitors of the current forces of darkness, which are battling to dominate the world of man. Hiranyasha long existed before the fall of the biblical archangel Lucifer. He waged great wars in the heavenly places. His wars occurred long before the war in heaven, which pitched Archangel Michael and some angelic beings of light against the great red dragon and his angels. I am speaking here about one of the greatest spirits of darkness that had ever emerged within the species of humanoids, in both our solar and the galactic systems. He and his network were responsible for the destruction of a planet that orbited between Mars and Jupiter. The debris of that exploded planet, which first harbored the children of men in our kind, lies today in the asteroid belt of the solar system. The forces of darkness are still battling today to repeat the same thing upon the present Earth. Before the Earth planet entered into her current position in the schemes of planetary existence, Hiranyasha greatly attempted to pull her down into the Sanskrit Viraja, the bottomless pit of the universal sea. In doing this, he defeated a host of the forces of light. And, so, the Almighty God of creation, in his incipient aspect known as Lord Varha, manifested and vanquished Hiranyasha. To this end, the Earth planet was salvaged. Earthmen, some of you may recall that when the seventh angel sounded his trumpet, as recorded in the Bible book of Revelation, chapter 11 verses 15 to 18, certain things occurred. It was said there that the destroyers of the earth will eventually be destroyed. Don't forget this. That will be all for now. A word is enough for the wise. Peace and blessings.